What's up, guys? CryptoSavy here. Welcome to the channel where you subscribe to get daily updates on Bitcoin. Can Bitcoin break 11,400 and where will it go after that if we do? Well, let's take a look at the bearish case scenario. If we cannot break 10,400, where I think we may be headed, definitely stick around. It should be a good video. Don't forget we have a free Discord group. There's a link below in the description. Definitely check it out, and let's get into it. All right, guys, as always, this is not financial advice, trading advice, nor is it investment advice. Always do your own due diligence. There's a disclaimer scrolling on the bottom. Make sure you read it. And don't forget, we're giving away a Kobo Vault Generation 2 hard wallet. It's an air-gapped, so it doesn't need to be plugged in. Get your keys, get your crypto off the exchanges if you're not trading them. Get them in your own hard wallet. That is the safest thing to do with Bitcoin, not your keys, not your crypto. But check it out. There's a link down below for the Kobo. I also have a link down below for the LFL Titan and Ledger, which I do use all three, and I do trust them all. All my links down below help the channel out, guys. So if you need anything in any of those links and use my links, I do get a small commission. It does help the channel. So let's get into it. All right, looking at news headlines, let's get a feel for the sentiment. I think we all know what the sentiment is right now. As the Bitcoin price soars, Bitcoin's real crypto market dominance is revealed. Last time this Bitcoin statistic hit a new high, Bitcoin surged 3.5 times, and it's back. Is this growing correlation between Bitcoin and gold a bullish sign? 745 million in Bitcoin options expire. This was yesterday, so they expire today. What to expect? A lot of times when they expire, we have huge moves, and if we look back in the past, most of those moves are down, but we'll talk about that. We'll take a look at where it might be headed. Definitely stick around. We're going to start out with the bigger time frames, move all the way down to the 1 hour, and look at some targets. So let's get into it. Fear and greed index, we're at 75. We dropped 1 point from yesterday, so we went from extreme greed to greed. Let's take a look at this. All right, so if we look at it in the macro and the monthly here, we are still making lower highs in the macro. We do have this trend line here I drew off of these three. Well, it's 3 wicks now because we tagged it. I think a break of this, and then I do believe we are going to get some extreme volatility if we do break this trend line here, and I have that around 10,400. We'll look at it as the smaller time frames go by. Currently, we are sitting above all the EMAs, well above all the EMAs, and we've been looking at this 5,400 down at the 55 EMA. That's still a possibility. We also have a CME futures gap down around 3,500, and I'm not saying we have to go there, guys. I'm just saying keep that in mind that that's down there so you don't be surprised if we do head that way. Now, let's take a look at the bullish case scenario here. Looking at this falling broadening, let me zoom in so you can see it. Get rid of the RSI for now. This falling broadening wedge in yellow, we had a measured move. All you do to measure that is go from the breakout point down to the support, take that line, bring it up to where we broke out, and that gets us right around the $16,000 range. We could be headed towards that range if we break that 11.4, but obviously there's some more resistance on the way, and we'll talk about that here in a minute. But as of right now, as you can see, the EMAs look bullish here also. Now, if we use this top trend line here that I have off these wicks, we have not broken out yet. And if you look at the weekly volume here, it is still declining on the weekly. I want to remind you guys, my wife's webpage, anchorimage.com. If you want to help support the channel and you want some cool crypto gear, check it out. She's got a lot of cool stuff on here. You can put any crypto you want. Just hit her up in the contact if you have a favorite coin or something else you want on there, or even just a funny saying or whatever. Just hit her up in the contact. She can help you out. It is quality stuff. It's not garbage, iron on or none of that. No vinyl. So anyways, we talked about this for the last couple days, and I'm still going to show it. Just as you see, we are way up at around the 86 on the RSI at the bottom. But as you know, a lot of people say we're overbought, so we got to come down. But keep in mind, these were all overbought ranges, and we just kept going up. So that's steering towards the bullish case scenario too. Let me go back over to here and take a look at the extreme bullish case. If this trend line here was the breakout, we take a measured move of that from the widest point of the wedge, go over to where we broke out. That gets us around the $27,000 range. Of course, I do think we will get some major resistance around the $20,000 to $22,000 range, but nevertheless, we could be looking for that if this resistance doesn't reject us here. And like I said, today could be a big day. We may see some huge volatility. Let's zoom in a little bit and look at the charts here. But yeah, I do want to point out that a lot of times when they say it's overbought and go by the RSI, you have to be careful. You see what happened. It just kept continuing up over here. So, and that's in, like I said, a bullish case scenario. Looking at this rising channel like we had over here, we see what happened over on the other one. This one obviously is much bigger channel. Question is, are we going to continue up from here or go down? The measured move from here was 6,900. And if we look at the orange trend line on the bottom, looking at it as a rising broadening wedge, the measured move of that was around 5,500. We did break this trend line here. If we extend this trend line, say we do come down, you know, we'll look at other targets there if we cannot break this trend line as of now. And right now, this is pretty much matching up with the orange trend line right around the $11,400 range. That is key resistance, guys. If we break above that, we could be coming to retest the white trend line on the bottom of the rising channel. It could be as high as 13,000, somewhere in that range. Let's take a look at the RSI. Like I said, the RSI is topped out up here, but again, we can just continue up just like we did over here after some small corrections. But let's take a measured move. I did change this wedge here, going off of, I had the old one a little different, but if we look at this and take a measured move of it and put it to where we broke out, according to this, we have topped out on the RSI. But again, that doesn't mean we have to drop. Although you guys know I still am bearish here, and a lot of people have been calling me perma bear. I'm not a perma bear. I have a hodl position. I love to see Bitcoin go up as much as you do, but I am being cautious because I don't trust this move just the way it's all panning out. But again, a break of the 11.4, and then it looks pretty bullish to me. So look at this as a rising broadening wedge, and we look at this trend line way over here. We will most likely see some resistance if we get it up to this point, 12.5, somewhere in there. But we'll go into the smaller time frames. We'll go into the 4-hour and look at what targets I'm actually looking at. But 11.4 is key right now. If we can't break that, we're most likely headed down to these lower levels, and we will look at the target. As you can see, these targets over here, these are all Fibonacci retracements. The golden pocket zone is between 60 around 6,500 to 6,730 area is the golden pocket zone. I would expect at least a nice bounce there. If we do get down that low, if that breaks, 5,400 is a 0.786, and also the 55 EMA on the monthly. And then we have the CME futures gap down at 3,500. All these are invalidated if we break the 11.4, and then we'll have to relook at everything. Take a look at this. People are looking at this as an inverse head and shoulders here, this being the left shoulder, head, right shoulder, and neckline of 10.5. A break of that. Measured move is around 17. So that's definitely possible here, guys. I think it's going to be an extremely interesting day. If you are trading or are interested in trading and you want to trade on leverage with a better, you can use less money to make more money, but be careful. It's very risky. Don't use super high leverage. Always use stops. Use some risk management and money management, and just be careful. But if you want to, I'll leave a Prime XBT tutorial up top. Check it out. If you use promo code Savvy50, you'll get 50% on top of whatever you deposit, up to 1 Bitcoin as a bonus. And Savvy25 will get you 25% off your fees for a month. And if you are already signed up on Prime XBT, you can still use my promo codes. If not, I do have a link below in the description to sign up. But yeah, you could trade Forex, gold, silver, oil, S&P, Dow, anything on it using your Bitcoin as collateral. By far the best exchange in my opinion. That's the only exchange I use anymore. So anyways, let's get into it. And if you look, we did have some breakout volume here, but it definitely wasn't as high as the volume we had over here. So technically in the daily, we are still on declining volume. Oh yeah, let's go back into the RSI. Looking at the RSI, like I said, it seems to be topped out, but remember what happened over here. They topped out, but we did just keep going up. So that is a definite possibility. We could get something like we got over here, and this could be a massive bull run like people are thinking. I just am leery here. I don't trust it. I think most likely we are going to come back down, in my opinion. Let's take a look at another look at the, we'll take a look at the 4 hour here. All right, so looking at the 4 hour, we have this rising channel here. We did wick above it and got rejected at our trend line here at the 11.4. It was actually about 11.450 where it hit. And if we do break this today, we're also going to break this rising channel here. And if we take a measured move of that rising channel where we broke, that's going to get us around that 13.2 range, which could be retested in the bottom of this rising channel. I do believe that would be a top out point. At least get a nice retracement back if we do get up to that range. If we cannot break the 11.4, most likely going to come back down to test the 11.5 area. If that breaks, we could be coming back down to the 96.29, because if we don't break the 11.4, then we look at the Fibonacci retracement from the swing low to swing high. This will be the 0.236 at 96.29. 0.382 is at 85.55. If that doesn't hold, then we could be looking at the 76.30 range, which is the 0.5 fib. And if this trend line holds up to be true, it could come all the way down to the 76 by sometime in September. But again, if the 11.4 breaks and we hold above that, then all this is invalid for now. We'll have to relook at it. But if that 76.34 didn't hold, if we made it down that far, then we're looking at that 69. Then of course the golden pocket zone here, and 5400 is the 0.786, and then again the CME futures gap around 3560 area. I'd be pretty cautious here, guys, and really keep an eye on that 11.4. I still believe that it's time for this to have a correction, in my opinion. At least back down to this 96 level. We do have a CME gap down there, so keep that in mind. Look at the RSI. And again, this is a 4 hour. We did break out of this rising channel. And if we look at the RSI and the measured move on that, we still have more to go to come to the measured move. I also think we may come back down and retest this trend line. So keep that in mind. And let's look at the hourly. Same thing. We got our rejection at this yellow dotted trend line over here. It was at 11.423. And as of right now, if we were to get up in the next hour or so, it's around that 11.4. So 11,400 guys is key here. So now let's look at the targets. If we were to break up past that 11,400 range, we would be looking at 12,200, and that's using these red trend lines where we got a touch here, 2 touches on the top, 2 touches on the bottom. If we were to break up here, and the top of that's around 11,280. But again, you know, we could get a wick up to 11.4 and then get rejected. But if we do break that, we could be looking at the $12,220 range. Now, a breakdown of that using these red trend lines as a triangle, we could be looking at around a $10,000 Bitcoin again. But of course, we will have some support here on this long-term trend line, and that's lying around 10,229 if we were to drop straight down, but I don't think that's going to happen. I think it would be a little more gradual. But let's take a look at what else we were looking at yesterday. As you can see, the yellow dotted lines here as a rising wedge, which we did break down from. And the measured move of that is 10,005. It's actually a little bit lower, $10,500 range, which if this started coming down, this 200 EMA would roll over a little bit, and that would probably be support, at least to get a bounce. And if we look at, let's look at this real quick. We do have another target at 10,334. That would be, I'm going to retest this trend line down here, and that would be a few days of downfall, maybe over the weekend and stuff. But again, just keep an eye on that 11.4. My personal opinion, it's not going to break, but if it does, then we're super bullish. Keep an eye on these targets. If we do break this area, the bottom of this trend line here, which is around 10,950, depending on where we were to hit it, around between 10,900 and 11,000. If we break down from there, I'd start looking for the 10.5. If that doesn't hold, 10,330 area, and then the 10,000 after that, and then we would see where we're at. Guys, this could be a BART pattern. We could come all the way back down to test this trend line around the 9,200, 92 to 9,400, depending on how long it would take to get down here. Let's take a look at one more thing real quick on the hourly. As you can see, these tops here are even across, and if we look at the RSI, they're lower, so that is bearish divergence. We'll see how that plays out. We're still getting support even on the hourly above the EMAs. The 8 EMA lies around the 11,130, 13 EMAs around 11,110, 21 EMA is around 11,100, and a break of that, the 55 EMA is all the way down to 11,030 range, right in there. But again, if we break this trend line one more time, I think we're going to continue down. Another thing I'll take a look at, looking at this as a rising channel here. If we take a measured move of the breakdown from it, that's where we get that 11,300 from the rising channel. This being the support line, this being the resistance line, or support line, resistance line. Sorry guys, I was backwards. But judging by the RSI, it does look like we are most likely going to continue down from here. But again, two targets to watch here are 11,280. If that breaks, I would definitely think we're going to at least 11,400. And if that breaks, I think we're going to have a pretty bullish move to at least 12,200. Maybe come back, retest this trend line around 11.3 and continue up. But yeah, that's where I'm at, guys. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel by clicking the CryptoSavy logo above my head. Smash those likes. And if you want to win the Kobo Vault, all you got to do is make sure you subscribe to the channel, like, and comment below. I appreciate each and every one of you guys for helping support the channel, and I'm out.